So, I actually was losing the drive to make this video because, a small amount of viewership, a lot of work to make this kind of video, and it seems that most people really don't care about a specific topic. Sure, we will complain about YouTube, especially bigger creators or bigger channels, but neither they nor I have actual power to change something. Well, if we found a union, there might be a chance, but when that will ever happen. But then my boy Boomerang made a tweet about Gokunaru's video that details the deletion of the death of H3H3 video. I would encourage you to watch it, and I would encourage you to watch it on Gokunaru's channel, but it's deleted. But there probably are thousands of re-uploads. Watch the video, I would say it's pretty good. In the video, he mentions how H3 could be possibly involved in the guideline changes from the end of 2018 and beginning of 2019 that led to the deletion of the aforementioned video, plus the Psychic Pebbles video about the Fine Brothers and the iDubbbz video titled Leafy Content Cop. Fine. And then it dawned on me that I fucking love to shit on big corporations. And I want the words fuck, cunt, and ass back in my videos, I want it back. I want it back. It's just fuck. Fuck is the most non-intrusive, non-aggressive word that you can use to amplify a sentence. I want those words without this bullshit censoring that ultimately leads to people talking like toddlers. But, well, maybe that is what YouTube wants. Yeah, and it seems like that because, they kind of want that, but they also don't want that because they had to pay a fine of $170 million to the FTC because they violated COPPA regulations. And now they are trying to implement a system that will push the legal responsibility towards creators. At the same time, they're implementing a system that will automatically decide if you're doing stuff for children or not, basically giving the responsibility to the creator, but with their automated system that they implemented. Okay, YouTube, got you. And if you didn't understand a word of what I said, tell me so and I'll make another video. I will also link a bunch of COPPA shit in the description. I think it's important to know, COPPA hasn't done anything yet, and it probably will not do anything in the future. If your name is not Jake Paul or Logan Paul or Ryan Story Review, you have basically nothing to fear. Now back to the $170 million fine. How did YouTube pay that? Well, humans, YouTube made $50 billion out of ad revenue alone in 2019. If you don't believe me, here's the official Alphabet 4th quarter and fiscal year 2019 results, or in short, Alphabet Financial Report 2019. Still pretty long though. As you can clearly see here, YouTube made in 2019 $50 billion in ads alone. And wait. Oh, what is this? What is this number here? Alright, it's an annotation, nothing to be worried about, nothing out of the ordinary. But what does the annotation actually say? YouTube non-advertising revenues are included in Google other revenues. Wait, what? So Alphabet is hiding what YouTube actually made in 2019? What? No. YouTube wouldn't do that, right? I mean, it's not like you can buy movies and music on YouTube. There's no such thing as YouTube Premium. Super Chat is also definitely not a thing. And just forget about the fact that Alphabet doesn't collect data about the users, which you definitely can't sell and use for other purposes. It clearly has no real life value whatsoever. Data means nothing, right, kids? I think what they meant here is that they position Google Other and Google Search and Other. There is YouTube revenue mixed in, but the amount is undefined. And I see you, Google. I see what you're trying to do here. You did an other annotation in Google Other, but you forgot to do Google Search and Other. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Yeah, don't need to hide more. I mean, it must be really difficult to break down how many YouTube users there are and how many of them have YouTube Premium, or how many of them bought movies, or how many super chats were made for YouTube. Truly a Herculean task, not possible at all for a tech company. So YouTube didn't make $50 billion in 2019. They made between $50 billion and $110 billion, baby! Which is just me being hyperbolic, but they most definitely made more than $50 billion, which I can confirm with the public financial call that you can find on YouTube, but seems that nobody's watching. Like every time. In this call, Sundar Pichai basically confirms that YouTube has 20 million YouTube Premium subscribers, which come down to around $2.8 billion every year, and they made roughly $3 billion in revenue with non-advertising revenue streams overall. We will come back to this video shortly. So, if I could divert your view towards the net income, you can clearly see that there's another annotation here. Included in net income is the provision for income taxes. Our effective tax rate was 12% and 30% for the years ended December 31st, 2018 and 2019, respectively, and was 11% and 0% reflective of discrete items, including the resolution of multi-year audits for the quarters ended to December 21st, 2018 and 2019, respectively. Does this mean anything? Yes. Can I explain this to you? No. Will I try to do it? Yes. The provision for income tax is the estimated tax that you have to pay. The effective tax rate is what a company usually pays. Here the net income still has the provisions included, and Alphabet is telling us that they paid 12% in 2018 and 30% in 2019, which is annulled in the following sentence that mentions that the effective tax rate was 11% for 2018 and 0% for 2019. This might be written down like this, but I'm pretty sure that the tax that they paid in all cases is close to 0%, and we find evidence for that in the earnings call again. Here the Google CFO, which stands for Chief Financial Advisor, Ruth Porat, mentions that the effective tax rate was 0.3%. Do I even have to mention that big corporations dodge taxes all the fucking time? I think I don't need to mention that. It should be a fact by now. You also might ask yourself why their net income is so low if they have such a gigantic revenue, and that's because of costs, baby. All those costs, baby. I will not break down the report, but if you want to read it yourself, you can read a lot of the terminology used in here on a site called Investopedia. Anyways, the biggest cost is the cost of revenue, which is basically a nothing statement. It tells us nothing. Cost per revenue could be rent of a building, cars, electricity, internet bills, anything really. So it doesn't matter what is written here. We don't know what it actually does. The lowest cost is general and administrative. And if you are wondering what that is how much Alphabet spends on employees. Sure, they are probably not all represented here, but a big part of them are here. So, I would recommend reading this financial report, and if you have knowledge on how to break it down more conclusively, I would say do it. Then upload it either in a written form or in a video form. That could be really interesting for me and other people that are interested in this topic. So, conclusion. YouTube definitely made $80 billion in 2019, and the data they gather on the 2 billion users has not been broken down in this report. So potentially YouTube made way more, up to $110 billion in 2019. And even though YouTube just made confirmed $80 billion, the data that Alphabet gathered through YouTube is not listed as its own item. It seems that Alphabet doesn't spend as much money on employees as assets, which would explain why YouTube is such a horrible staffed company. With that said, YouTube, Google, and other parts of Alphabet don't seem to be that separated. It seems more like one big company, but for tax reasons they just split the companies apart. YouTube, even though it has its own CEO, was not present in the Alphabet earnings call, which lead me to believe that Susan is just the mouthpiece and Sundar Pichai and Ruth Porat have more power over YouTube than Susan Wojcicki would ever have. Also, a 170 million fine from the FTC for COPPA violations means basically nothing for the company if you're making $80 billion every year. So what do we do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like I mentioned before, YouTube and Google and Alphabet have an absolute monopoly on the visible part of the internet. You could use something like Brave, Firefox, or Opera, and as a search engine, DuckDuckGo, and I don't even know any other search engines. You could go to BitChute and Vimeo and any other competitor of YouTube, but you can't do anything really. There are too many people using the service already. If you force a mass exodus, sure, something could happen, but that doesn't happen. And YouTube is here to stay. And even if a competitor enters the scene, you're not fighting YouTube, you're fighting YouTube plus 10 years of development, plus Google and Alphabet. Sorry for being a Debbie Downer, but that's the reality we live in. Great. Will I continue to shit on big corporations, especially on YouTube? Yes. Will I continue to be a hypocrite and search for validation on YouTube? Yes. But that's just me. Sorry, buddies. As I see it, there's only one way to solve at least the tax issue, and that is for every country in the world to work together and keep big corporations in check, but that's not going to happen ever, because people are greedy and they will be corrupt. Nice! Thanks for watching this video. A like and subscribe, comment, anything on this video really doesn't really matter what it is. YouTube just works that way. You have to engage with the content you like. And yeah, even though it's not good, that's the reality we live in, buddies. Sorry for spreading pain and misery, but that's what I'm good at. That's what I like the most. I'm still human though. I'm 100% born on this planet Earth. Good. Take care of yourselves, humans, and have a nice and wonderful day.